because it did have a couple of folks that asked for it to be recorded, and I will share the recording afterwards. So yeah, if you have any questions, we'll definitely have time for that at the end of the session, but there's always the chat area for comments that you want to add to. And if you want to jump in, you could always raise your hand like Mr. Ellis just did to jump in. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Let me introduce our panelists for today. We've got Katrina Hammonds, Shakita Lanier, Elizabeth Proctor, Latanya McClendon, and Antonio Ellis. Now, I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves, and I want you guys to take a quick moment to just share with the group your name again, your title and school, and very briefly what you're hoping, what you are hoping to gain from this panel discussion today. So, Katrina, let's start with you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Katrina Hammonds. I am the STEM coordinator at McNair Middle School in DeKalb County School District. What else was I supposed to say, Greg? I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're on the roll. Blank. No, that's fine. That's fine. What you want to get out of this panel discussion today?
I'd like to just hear other ideas of how other educators are utilizing hydroponics and the GrowBlock to align to their science standards, and the interaction with students, the student interaction with the hydroponic systems.
Okay, very good, very good. Miss Lanier.
Hello, I am Miss Lanier. I'm the signature program specialist at Humphreys Elementary, which is an APS school. And I'm hoping to gain knowledge to see how you all are using hydroponics in your classrooms and kind of just see who else is near me, I guess you could say, so we can collaborate and, do visits and whatnot. So just trying to learn from you all.
Awesome. Awesome. And you got some particular things that's going with you and some other APS schools. Yeah. That'll be good to share with the group at some point here. All right, Ms. Proctor.
I'm in a K2 school. I'm a STEM teacher, so I'm like you drop off at the Wonder Room is what I call it, but it's like kids go to the gym or PE or art, and they come to see me once a week. And I've only been here a year and a half, but I was a high school biotechnology teacher for 25 years, so I took a big jump down. And I'm interested in learning how to teach because I'm usually teaching things a little higher. I want to teach kids, real science. So I'm looking for ideas on how to teach smaller children hydroponics.
Very good. Awesome. All right, Miss McClendon.
Hi, my name is Latanya McClendon. I'm a science teacher and STEM lead at North Clay Middle School in Clayton County. This is my first year doing hydroponics in my classroom, but my goal is for us to have hydroponic systems in all the classes in our school. So, and hopefully I can incorporate some lessons that you guys have done in your classes with my 7th graders and my 8th graders.
Awesome. And last but not least, Mr. Ellis.
That sounds good. Hey, end of the day, everybody. Hey, end of the day, dismissal time. So, how everybody doing? My name is Antonio Ellis, and I am representing Michelle Obama STEM as the STEM coordinator here. And so we have been, doing hydroponics for at least 3 years here, but I've been familiar with it, with the aquaponics, hydroponics for a few years, previous to that. So also I'm wearing 2 hats. So I'm STEM coordinator representing the school and as a business owner who consults as well. So I am looking to venture out and to get, more information on how we can spread, hydroponics across, not only just here in Clayton County, but across the state and even, nationally as well. So just learning to and listening and just make some, good friends and colleagues so we can all, grow what we're all doing and collaborate and see how we can all help and benefit each other and help make a few extra dollars for everybody.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you all. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for sharing. So this is really going to be a good discussion. So the format here, I want to, have 4 or 5 topics or questions, and there's a couple of different presentations and things that I want to jump in as well. But each topic, I want to open it up and we spend 10, maybe 15 minutes around each topic. For those of you that don't know the panelists, they'll have a chance to talk about the experience that they have had and ask questions as well. So again, if you have questions while someone's speaking, just add it to the chat and I promise that I'll get to it. All right, so without further ado, let's go to the first question. So, and I'll open it up to the group, whoever wants to jump in. Why did you choose hydroponics as a STEM-related focus for your classroom or school? Who wants to kick that one off?
I'll start. Oh, go ahead, LaTanya.
So where we're located in Clayton County is really a food desert in our area. There's one grocery store, and if you are not close to that grocery store, there's no public transportation to get you there if you don't have a vehicle. So part of me trying to start hydroponics and gardening in general at my school was to kind of alleviate that, that food desert per se that we have in our community, teach our kids how to actually grow fruit and vegetables on their own. So that was the main idea for me starting at my school.
Now, with where you are in that food desert, you had personal hydroponics experience already, or was it a previous teacher administrator?
So no, actually I saw a hydroponic system before and I was interested in doing it, and I was kind of skeptical because I thought it was going to be a lot of work. There goes the lights. I thought it was going to be a lot of work, but once I visited your place, Greg, and saw how easy it was to incorporate it in our school. I also spoke with Mr. Ellis before, and I toured his school and I saw how easy it was and how the elementary students were so excited about being a part of that, hydroponic system, the aquaponics and hydroponics. I just felt like it would be easy for my kids to do it. And so that was it. That was my driving force. I do have a small hydroponic system at my house, which is how I started. And, just listening to you guys and visiting that school and seeing how easy it was to get started, I just wanted to do it with my kids.
Gotcha. Katrina, why did you choose hydroponics as a STEM-related focus?
So for me, at my school in 2024, February 2024, I started building a team for a school and community garden initiative that would allow our students to learn about food sustainability, food security, and healthier food choices. And through that, so hydroponics came into play because the goal is to teach our students how to grow their own food through different methods. So the traditional garden, hydroponics, aquaponics, container gardening. Many of our students live in apartment complexes, so they don't have the luxury of having space and land to be able to plant in the ground or build these nice planter boxes. So to be able to teach them how to grow their own food in containers or through hydroponics, I felt was something that was extremely valuable. I don't have rosters of students, so I don't have students rotating into a classroom. So through the School and Community Garden Initiative, we developed a garden club. And so our garden club started out, we had like 25 students in the garden club. So we were starting to expose students to these different modes of gardening and growing their own food. So that's how hydroponics became a thing at our school.
Okay, awesome. Ms. Proctor?
We're a small rural county down in below the airport, and we have a bucket company. We produce 1 million buckets a month. And so I saw a design engineering challenge where you can grow hydroponics in a bucket. And so I'm not there yet, but we have grown lettuce in a bucket, but I do want the kids to design and maybe make it a parent thing, and we sell it maybe as a fundraiser, because the buckets, when they run buckets, the colors bleed out, and they'll give us as many free buckets as we want as a STEM partner, because if a company orders pink buckets and they have to switch to blue buckets, then we can get the pink blue buckets in between as a donation. So, and then I know, so we're working on the design engineering part is how I got started, because we have a bucket company. So.
Now, when you say bucket, like 5-gallon buckets?
Yeah, they supply them for Home Depot. They're huge, big painter bales, or they do a lot of soy sauce and pickle buckets. They brand a lot of buckets. So you wouldn't know it, but there's a lot of buckets. 1 million buckets a month is what they produce. And the color changes are frequent. And we have kids, their parents work. We don't have a lot of industry in this area, but their kids, they work at the bucket place, and they're a good partner. And you can do hydroponics in a bucket, but I want to turn it into a fundraiser and kids design and build them, and then they can take them home, and then they can have their own bucket garden at home. That's a long-term plan. We've got some buckets here, and that's the long-term plan.
Gotcha. No, that's pretty awesome. Mr. Long.
Ah, man. All right. Gotta learn to click these buttons. Yeah, very interesting. We started hydroponics. I guess this will be the full 2nd year now. We had some few issues with it, but the goal was to inform and teach our students, different ways of growing food. We're here in Clayton County, over in the Hampton area, not too far from the racetrack, but still, I guess, metro enough to where there's not a lot of space to grow stuff. And, so we figured we're going to try it. We started building a garden out back, but before we could get the greenhouse done, storms kind of ripped up some of our supplies and everything. But for the hydroponics, other than the breaks, like the winter breaks and stuff like that, it's been a very valuable teaching tool. We actually did videos with it, myself and my wife, who was running the thing. And, we actually got to show the kids how to test the water, even for the fish, or just test the water altogether. So right now it's just still acquiring knowledge. And I am extremely interested, Ms. Proctor, in this bucket, and I do mean extremely, which is why I chimed in real quick. Normally, when I'm new to the gang, I kind of listen. But I am extremely interested in this bucket deal. I like it, and would love to get my kids and even the STEM club into such a deal. But we do it's an extreme teaching tool, especially when you can allow the kids to get their hands dirty, get in the water, play in the water a little bit, and it makes it that much more fun. Now we got some maintenance we have to do on ours, but other than that, it is an extremely good teaching tool down here at Kemp Elementary over here in Hampton.
I'll make sure to connect you and Ms. Proctor so you can share that information. And thanks for that, Mr. Long. Thanks, everybody. That kind of segues into one of the next questions. And if there was somebody else that wanted to share, please put it in the comments.
Yeah, I would like to share, Greg.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about my journey here at Michelle Obama. So when I came to Michelle Obama STEM, we were a brand new school, just had been built, but during COVID, so we were Clayton County was still virtual at the time. So my first year here, we was the first time we were back in the building. It was my first year, and I was coming from a different district at the time, and so I walked into a whole brand new setup of. I mean, if you could think of it, like they brought it, right? They bought everything. So I have 3 indoor garden setups. Like, so I got hydroponics, aquaponics. I got 2 aquaponics setups. And the reasoning behind it was the name of our building, Michelle Obama. So the reason that she gave, the approval for our school to be named after her namesake is because of her garden and healthy food initiative that she had at the time when she was, when they were currently in the White House at the time back then. So we have raised bed gardens outside, we have indoor gardens, but the hydroponic setup for our students in aquaponics is just a wow factor for them because they've never seen anything like this. They don't even really know where their food come from. You start that conversation, you like, hey, where do your food come from? And they're gonna say Walmart, they're gonna say Kroger, because those are the 2, stores that they're only familiar with. They don't know about, fresh products, produce, and different things like that. So just for them to be able to see that they can, grow their own, vegetables. We had cabbage, we had collard greens, we had peppers, we've had kale, we've had lettuce, we've had a lot of different things, and the kids are using it like in their garden. Well, we have a garden club cooking club and a garden club. So she comes in sometimes and use some of the products that we've grown. I know they made green smoothies with some of the kale that we had, and the kids just love the fact that they can come down the hallway, pick some products, and wash it off and eat it right there. So it's like versus them understanding the concept. Like you can show them where a country like Guatemala is, but they don't really understand that concept of going down the hallway. It just makes it real, makes a connection for them, and just a wow factor. Especially now we have tilapia in one of our tanks, and it's a clear tank, so the kids come in and they can actually see the tilapia, floating around, and just the conversation that you have from that. It's just an amazing experience. But yeah, hydroponics is definitely changed the way that I teach, the way I approach some of these conversations with some of the teachers as well, because now the kids, as they're moving up to different grade levels, now they want to know, hey, are we going to do hydroponics in this grade here? And so now the teachers are coming to me and asking, like, what is hydroponics? Like, so how can I incorporate this? So it's like, it's just continuing to grow, across the school. And even, the middle school down the street, our feeder schools, like we have hydroponics there as well. So when they leave the 5th grade, when they get to 6th grade, those teachers are going to have to be prepared. So we kind of collaborate with them as well to make sure, everybody's on board.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's great. And both of you guys, everyone has really said what the next question kind of leads into. And this is particularly for those of you that don't have the hydroponics experience yet in your classroom. So the question is, what impact has hands-on hydroponics and PBLs had on your students? What changes have you seen? What improvements or what types of changes have you seen in your classroom through hands-on hydroponics? Anybody wants to jump on that one, you can.
So Greg, could you kind of repeat that again, that first part?
Yeah, what impact has hands-on hydroponics had on your students?
All right, yeah. So for me and the culture, it's just a culture change from the whole building. Like, so with my teachers, when I first got here, it was so new to so many people. And when I first started, I was a STEM teacher, like Miss Proctor is, like how she's saying they dropped the kids off. And so when I first got here and they was like STEM and PBL, they were like, who is this guy? Who he think he is? Like, and so So my principal, like, she changed my schedule, and she had me meeting with the teachers half a day, and I was working in the lab with the kids half a day. And so I guarantee there probably was some group texts with my name in it, and they probably weren't favorable for me at the time. But so it was just a culture change and a shift in mindset. And so from 3 years ago to now, it is night and day. And I think the kids like learn it. Right? We have kids who went to the middle school and they was asking the teachers like, oh, are we gonna do robotics? Are we gonna do hydroponics? Are we gonna be? And some of the teachers were like, whoa, like we gotta change our mindset because these kids are coming to us from the elementary school, you know, with that problem solving mindset and just been doing project-based learning and just different things like that. So it's just a opportunities for all of us to change the way we approach it and the way we see it. So and then teaching kids about just, you know, healthy food choices has, you know, opened my eyes up, like to even wanting to purchase some of these, you know, grow blocks and, you know, different hydroponic setup, even to take back to my own personal family and to expose them as well. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Anybody else? What changes have you seen since introducing? What type of results have you seen by using or examples of hands-on PBLs through hydroponics? Ms. Lanier?
I would say as far as our students, this is kind of like year one for myself with the hydroponics system. We've had them in the past, but they were not up and running. So this year, I would say that the kids are, you know, they're engaged. They're wanting to know more about the different plants that we're growing. We've had a lot of different produce that we've tried in the hydroponics because it's kind of like a learning year for us. So when I try something, the students are excited to know what's been growing. I try to get the kids involved. They help me water the plants. They help me kind of clean up the system as well when plants are dying out. So it's a learning process for them as they're also teaching others about it too. And like Mr. Ellis said, the teachers are excited because when they walk by, they're like, "Ooh, you got lettuce growing. Can I get some tomatoes?" So they're excited about the possibilities as well. And we're working with, we got a grant to work with a partner school. So we are teaching them about hydroponics and they're teaching us about gardening outdoors. So it's kind of just a overall learning experience for us this year.
Can you share a little bit more about that collaboration with Atlanta Neighborhood Charter?
Yes, so we got a grant I guess you could say over the summer, and the grant was to work with a charter school. And basically what our grant is doing, give me a second. Shut the door. What we were doing is Atlanta Neighborhood Charter School, they have a outdoor garden at their elementary and their middle school campus. And it's pretty large if you've ever visited or went there. So they have like 80 raised beds and, you know, they're doing different things in their curriculum, but they don't have hydroponics. And so we have hydroponics, even though it's, you know, our year one. So we're working right now with our second graders, and we've been doing just different initiatives to help the kids learn about how food is grown. We're going to do a field trip at the end of, well, I guess you could say April. We're going to do a field trip to a middle school who has a farm. So just showing them how food is grown, the different ways you can grow food, even though we're in an urban area, how schools are growing food and how you can just collaborate with those around you to learn more.
That's pretty interesting. Now, another question on that collaboration. Did you choose Atlanta Neighborhood Charter? How did you guys get connected? Because that may be important for other teachers and schools that may want to do the same.
Well, an email was sent out about a grant, and it was like, find a school. If you don't have anyone, we'll connect you with someone. So they actually, the APS collaboration team, they connected us, and we happened to write the grant together, and we got it. So yeah, they the guy who's over the charter school, I don't know what to call it, but he knew of ANCS, so he was like, hey, I got this other school that you may be interested in working with. So he was able to connect us.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's great. Anybody else, any impact? Want to share impact on what hydroponics and hands-on PBLs has had on your students? Ms. McClendon?
So I started out with the hydroponics and nobody wanted to do it. Everybody said, nope, can't, too much work. It's going to be extra work and I don't want to do it. So I started out on my own. But after I started, the teacher next to me said, hey, I see that you're growing something. I want one too. So I gave her one of my hydroponic systems. And then I bought another hydroponic system. And then one of the coaches said, hey, I like the hydroponic system. Where did you get it from? So he got a hydroponic system. I moved over from 6th grade last week to 8th grade. And I brought one of my hydroponic systems over. But I started everything from scratch. So now the 8th graders are saying, hey, can we get hydroponic systems in our class too? So I think that just once they see it, it's almost like, this is interesting. I want to be a part of it. My 6th graders handle everything in my hydroponic system. I started it out, but they are in charge of maintaining it. They're in charge of checking it for the water levels. They're in charge of making sure the roots are not clouding our system. They do everything. I just showed them how to do it, and they just kind of just took over. That's what I'm expecting to happen with 8th grade. So last week was my first week here. This week, when I came in this morning, my kids was like, well, who's going to check the water level? I didn't even say anything about the hydroponic system. They were like, well, who's going to check the water level? Well, did you check it? Well, we need to check it. I just let them have their conversation. So I know that once they are introduced to it, they'll take ownership of it. And that was my whole idea, and in starting this hydroponic journey. I also bought a different hydroponic system that I used in my room, and I'm learning that all systems don't work the same, because I have one that I've been trying to grow something in since October, and I don't think anything has grown in that system. But I wrote a grant, and we bought our system from Greg. That we have in our media center. So not only are my kids getting exposed to it, any child that comes through our media center is going to be exposed to it as well.
That's awesome. Ms. Proctor,
Ms. McClendon.
You had that experience too, the multiple systems.
Yes. So I was laughing because they are not equal.
Exactly. But something else that you guys, go ahead, Antonio.
Yeah, I want to chime back in on Ms. McClendon, what she said about the ownership part with the students. Like, that is what happened with us. So now our kids, they went from the group that I had last year, who was in 3rd grade, when they went to 4th grade, and they were already growing their own stuff. And once they got to 4th grade, those teachers had to buy in, because when those kids got there, they were like, where's your hydroponics at? Like, we want to know, like, how can we do this? So now they're coming to me asking me, what is hydroponics? So now I'm having to, train the teachers and explain to them what it is, because those kids are hungry for, like, once they get it, like, they don't want to stop. Like, I got a group of 3rd graders now. They come down, they change out the water. They make sure the dead leaves are picked off. Like, they feed the fish in here. Like, I really don't have to do much. Just make sure, that they are not, just doing, how kids can be kids, make sure they stand on task. But for the most part, those kids, like, they want it. And then you got other kids who are coming down at the end of the day. Hey, can we feed the fish? Can we feed the fish today? Did you feed the fish, Miss Ellis? And it's just like that ownership. Like I just want to, piggyback off Miss McClendon. Like that is so good. She is exactly right.
No, that's good. And that seems like the theme that it happens. And everybody, most of you that I've talked to and visited you at schools, it's that contagiousness. Once they see the lights, they see life form, they see it growing, and they immediately ask questions. And that is the good thing about it. And you guys have done an amazing job to get hydroponics started, whether you had previous experience or not, just taking it on, because it can be a daunting challenge to do it, which leads me to this next question. We've talked about all the good stuff, the benefits, how the kids are responding, but what are some of the challenges that you have had with starting hydroponics in your classroom? And that could be challenges anywhere from administrators, your principals, just not knowing, all the way to just funding. There's a host of different challenges that I'm sure each of you have experienced. So answering this question will definitely be helpful for the group, especially for those that are looking to get started with the hydroponics program.
I guess I'll start. Some of the challenges, as some people have said, if you are the first to start it, you may need some help. I started it last school year in May. So I had to come to school during the summer. I was okay with it, but I was coming by myself, coming once a week, had my kids with me. So I was coming to the school to maintain the hydroponics while, everybody was out enjoying their summer. But it gave me, in August, we had plants. So they were like, oh, wow, this maintained over the summer? No, I came in over the summer. So that was a little challenge. As far as we have 4 towers. Right now, 3 of them have things inside of them. And we've had different issues such as over the breaks, water runs out of them. Had that accident before. One time, the timer for the water, it was plugged up, but it had a shortage, so the plant didn't get water over the weekend. So just little hiccups like that along the way. I've learned to make sure that it's definitely enough water over breaks, because if not, you're gonna be coming in to water on your winter break. And then making sure that you have someone else to kind of help you. I have, like I said, now I have the students who assist. So when I forget, I'm like, you know what, let me go call some students. They know what to do now. And then also I have a coworker in the class with me as well, where I can teach her about the plants. And so she kind of knows what to do as well. So challenges is definitely make sure you got your team that you can teach, and then you can hand the baton to, when you forget something or when you need assistance.
Now, Ms. Lanier, let me just kind of add a disclaimer in there. The system that you had shorting out and the issues, that's not a produced GrowBlock system. These are some other systems.
Right, those are different.
Okay,
yeah, the timer on it moved some kind of way, and yeah. So yeah, that is not Greg's GrowBlock.
But no, that is very important, especially the team, having other people, other colleagues, adults that know how to operate, maintain. Those are very, very important. Who else has experienced different types of challenges of getting a program started?
So my challenge has been getting people to, I think some people don't want to be trained. They just want to jump right in. And so we've had several mishaps with someone unplugging the system, someone flipping the switch off on the system, someone hitting the switch on the power strip, And so we come back from break and everything's dead, like completely dead. And then I luckily had already planted some more in the mini greenhouse and put those in. And then I don't know how for the life of me, but someone turned the switch off, which is all the way underneath the system, to the lights. So the new thriving starter plants that I put in the GrowBlock, of course, died. That, like, I was like, why are they dying? This has been like, 3 or 4 days. And I finally said, well, let me check the switch underneath. Got down on my hands and knees, and the switch was off to the lights. So the challenge has kind of been, and where the GrowBlock is located in our school, I wanted it to be visible for students, teachers, and visitors to our building. But I'm finding that in starting out, that's not the best decision. So I have recently moved it down into my space until I can get it thriving again, and then we'll move it back up. And hopefully by that time, we'll have a location that's visible but not accessible, to kind of prevent some of the challenges that we've had with getting our GrowBlock to continue to thrive once we plant it inside of it. So that's kind of been the struggle for us.
Yeah. Ms. Proctor.
Okay, so before I do this, I did ask Greg permission, so I'm going to share my screen. One of the things that let's see, I don't know, share audio tab. I'm getting a weird message, window, entire screen. Okay, share. It won't let me share, Greg.
Uh-oh, let's see what we can do there.
But one of the challenges that I had was teaching second grade was how to teach them pH, since you have to monitor the pH. And so I don't know if y'all are familiar with the resource Georgia Bio. They've recently been renamed to Georgia Life Sciences. And they can send you materials. So all the materials that I'm about to show you were free. And I don't think it's too far for many of you. I have to drive up your way to get it. But, and Greg, if you want to show my slide that I sent you, because I can't do anything.
Yeah, let me do that. Let me pull that up. I apologize. Let me see.
That's okay. Sorry. Todd, if you want to go ahead and I can go after you while Greg's looking for my slide.
Okay. Yeah, some of the challenges I have is that team issue, and you just trying to get someone to help you to where you're not coming in every day on your summer break, or once a week or whatever, someone to help you out. Or maybe because I, being the STEM lead here, or the science lead here rather, I mean, I teach science cadre, I teach this, so it's like times I'm not going to be there, and I ask a teammate to help out, but when I get back, it's not done. Things are turned off to where somebody will go show the kids the hydroponics tank, and they want to look at, but they're not trained on it. They don't know what to touch and what they can't touch. I thought one time I had to take the fish out and drain the tank because myself and my wife, we learned how to test water, creeks, rivers, all the way out to Gray's Reef last spring break. And so my kit is in this area. And so now they open my kit and they're putting stuff in the water. And I'm like, you're killing everything. Some of this stuff, it will kill the plants. It's used to test the water, but it will kill what's in there if you. And so it comes down, and it's like a whole bunch of maintenance where I got to take the fish out, get the tank, take everything out, dump it. And it's like, I'm looking for help. I asked my admin, hey, can you help me out? Can I train some people? And it becomes, well, only if they want to be trained. And then you find yourself there, by yourself, twiddling your thumbs. But then everybody almost wants to take credit when somebody comes and see it, and it just becomes a pain a little bit. Not that I don't want to do it, it just becomes a little bit of a pain when you're trying to get people interested, and you seem to be the only one until, say, Mr. Raines comes through, or Mr. Ellis come through, and who told me about this panel right here. So when they come through, or the district comes through and they're looking at science and they're wondering, well, why don't your school have a lab? Like, I don't know, ask the people up front, the head shed, ask them why I don't have a lab. And, you know, so then it becomes that you're the monster type thing. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to teach kids, and this can be part of it. And I know it'll go a long way, because the kids I do have helping me, I mean, like, they're all in. They're all in. But it's getting the adult teammates to buy in and to help out and to show some interest, instead of just one or two of us. So that would be my biggest challenge right over here in this area, for me anyway.
Yeah.
At the most, well, y'all got Mr. Ellis. Y'all ain't got a problem. Y'all got Mr. Ellis. Don't be shocked I'm over there soon, Mr. Ellis.
But it sounds like that's a common, and I've talked to a number of you, and that's a common challenge, just getting buy-in from other teachers. And you guys are already busy doing everything else that you're doing on a daily basis with your students. And now you have to, be the ambassador and the champion to learn something new. But it's always, once it gets started, now everybody wants to jump on board. But education and presenting, and that's something that we, after speaking with a lot of you, we go into a consultant type of mode. When we first talk to the teachers and administrators, we talk about that team effort and doing this as a group, because people change schools, people change positions all the time, and then that knowledge goes with them. And we want to limit that to where the knowledge doesn't go. So the next person up, the football term, next person in line, they're ready to jump in, so the students don't suffer. Okay, Ms. Proctor, I got your slide up. Is that the right one?
Yes, sir. That looks good. Teaching. So we started with a lot of little microcentrifuge racks and microcentrifuge tubes and pH paper, and everything that I used except for the lab coats was donated by the Equipment Depot. And Megan's contact is there, and they've taken down their website. They've been doing a name change in the last month. So it used to be called Georgia Bio, and if you're not familiar with that resource, it's free STEM equipment. And so I put in like apple juice, grape juice, milk, everything that I put in the centrifuge tube, of course, had to be edible, because these are second graders. And I'm sure that some things were tasted, but that's not my goal. But we put in the pH paper and we tested the different items before we set up our lettuce buckets. And then I did a little research and I found out, lettuce needs to stay at about a pH of 6, and our spit is a 6. So, which was interesting. So when the next time I saw them, they tested their own spit. So then it came to, well, if we need to adjust the pH in the lettuce buckets, my students cannot add those chemicals because they might drink it, or it might get on their skin, it might burn them. So we went, and I talked to Greg about this, we went with lemon juice to lower it, and it worked fine. It didn't kill the lettuce. It did change a little bit the quality of the lettuce. It seemed a little limper, but my students would, if the pH got too high, they lowered the pH by adding lemon juice. I don't know if you can show the video. The video is adorable. The kids, you wouldn't think they can be so scientific, but they are very scientific. There's a little QR code and a link to the video of the students actually testing pH in the lab room. And
that one up.
Okay. And I forgot what else was. Oh, the lab journals are on there. So my students had the pH scale, and because since my students don't understand, y'all probably using pH meters, but we just put the paper next to the number, and they were very good at using the colorimeter little pieces to do their to see what color. And if you haven't been in a room when a second grader can change the color of a piece of paper, there's a lot of screaming. So you need to know that they're going to get excited about those pH changes and color changes. So that's, and teaching pH to second grade was a little tough. We just said it was the chemicals in the water, the nutrients in the water. So that was it.
All right, while I load Mr. Ellis.
Yes, yes. So just hearing everybody's concerns, and the one thing that I could think about is sustainability of these programs that we have in place, right? So what's going to happen when Miss Katrina Hammonds get her next role, or Miss Shaquita Lanier get her next role, and she moves on and she's gone? Miss Latanya McClendon is gone from North Clayton. And what's going to happen to the program? Are these systems going to just sit there and, you know, have spider webs and things like that? Because I've seen it at other schools you go to. These systems are just sitting there, and now the kids are not even using them anymore. So the thing that I want to challenge each and every one of us on here on this call to create us a team. Let's create a team. Let's find those teachers that who are going to want to, you know, learn about, you know, hydroponics, because at the end of the day, Miss Lanier, you can't be spending your summer at that school all summer long. You know, I know we love it, right? It's STEM is inside of us. We love hydroponics and STEM and PBLs, but at the end of the day, we have to create, you know, a group of individuals that are going to sustain these programs when we are no longer in these current roles we in. Because the thing about STEM and technology and the skill sets that we're learning, these skill sets are so transferable. Like, we're going to have a lot of opportunities coming all of our ways. So these programs have to be sustainable over time, especially if you're looking to be STEM certified and as a school, or just, you know, learning to grow on your own. Like I said earlier, like, I have other ambitions as a business owner as well to do more consulting work. So I am currently in the process of training other teachers and, you know, getting them to buy into it. And so that's what we have to do. And so that's one of the challenges that I want to, you know, for all of us, whatever school you're at. So learning to, you know, develop those groups of teams that we can have, and just the overall sustainability of these programs.
Okay, awesome. We got about 7 minutes, and like I said, I promise to respect your time. Ms. Proctor, I will play your video here so everyone can see. Can you guys see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Now, Ms. Proctor, are those the pH strips you were talking about?
Yeah, sorry, it's just pH paper, and I did get it from the Georgia Bio, but I think they're Georgia Life Sciences now. It's just indicator paper, and then the little centrifuge tubes also got from them, and the centrifuge racks, the test tube racks. But so they had their own little samples, and then they were just testing at will.
I'll make sure I put that back up in the chat, and I will email the video to everyone with that information as well.
Greg, can I give Ms. Proctor some flowers right quick? Ms. Proctor, awesome job, by the way. And the thing about that STEM, as you can see in that video, how engaged the kids are. So one thing about hydroponics, STEM, PBLs, there's no room for behavior time. Like, the kids are so engaged in the learning that they don't even really realize, like, oh, I don't have time to cut up. So that's why, you know, I love those opportunities. But Ms. Proctor, put that out there. Let you get some shine. Get you some shine on, girl.
So one of the other questions, and you guys have all said this, you know, the team effort, having the help. The last question here before we end, I want to ask, and let's go with 3. There's like 4 or 5 others that haven't chimed in. Let me put it out there. So the question is, what benefits have you gained from working with outside partners related to hydroponics? And do these partners help support the program of what you want to get accomplished? Anybody wants to start with that one? All right, Ms. Hammonds.
I'll go. So one of our biggest partners, of course, is Greg with producing. He has been like invaluable. Like the wisdom, the support that he has provided for us has been great. From him helping us set up the hydroponic system, to coming in whenever I'm having issues, or being willing to answer the phone when I call, which sometimes is often, with coming in and speaking with our students, showing them how to do different things. When it was time for us to transplant the rock wool for the first time, he actually came to the school and he actually worked with the garden club and educated them on how to remove them from the mini greenhouse into the GrowBlock. His support has been great. Through Greg, I had an opportunity to meet Mylan Turner, who's an urban gardener right down from our school. Mylan has allowed us to come down to his garden. He shared his experience and his knowledge of his grow blocks that he actually have in his home, as well as his traditional garden outside of his home. So partnering with different people is helping with the school and community garden initiative that I started. It's essentially doing what it was intended to do, which was to bridge a gap between our school and the community and the residents. And, you know, teach our kids about food sustainability and food security, and healthy food options. So, yeah, like partnering, like we couldn't do what we do without other stakeholders in the community helping and supporting us. We just absolutely could not. As much as I try and do everything myself, and I keep a lot on my plate, there's no way I could do it without the support of other stakeholders in the community. Thank you, Greg.
Oh, that's awesome. No, you guys are the ones. You guys, it's a commitment. But before I even show up or Marasia shows up on site, you guys are the ones that are all day, every day there with the students. So, you know, we're doing our part. It's something that we enjoy doing. We're measuring the results. We're recording the results. And for us, Ms. Lanier, you and I, we've talked about it a lot. It's not about selling a product and shaking our hands and wishing you well and call the 800 number for any type of support. We are rolling up our sleeves, whether it's our product or a competitor's product, doesn't matter. We're committed, just like you guys are, to using hydroponics as a vehicle to help students learn. And it's pretty much that simple. So it's 3:59 and we could probably go for another hour. But again, I do want to respect you guys' time. Here's what I'm going to do. I will record this and I'll share the recording with you, and I'll add the contact information and information you provided, Ms. Proctor. I'm going to send a feedback form for you guys to take a survey. If you want to do this again, if you found that it was beneficial, I am happy to host doing this again, and even talking about different things that are related to hydroponics. And again, it's not particularly what we do at Produce, but down to some of the curriculum. You know, how do you tie in curriculum? How are you tying in real world phenomenons and things that we relate to every single day? And I think that'll be helpful for some of the folks on this call. Mr. Long, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, that was just wasted. You just give me a date when you're gonna do it again, and I'm there.
Awesome.
Yeah, just give me a date. We can do this. I mean, every 2 weeks, every month, if you want to.
Good. I'm glad you find it valuable.
Right here on the screen is I don't know. I don't want to say it's more favorable to me than my students, but you know, I like to acquire knowledge. I'm not the jack of all trades, and I don't claim I master anything, but I like to acquire knowledge. And knowledge will get you through. It'll get you through. And I see a vast amount of knowledge here. And like I said, don't look up, and I'll be standing over there, Mr. Ellis.
Awesome. That's awesome. Mr. Boston.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you for having this because I just saw the email today. I'm on vacation, but I logged into this. And I would, if you do have this again, I would like to attend again. Also, I don't know if you ever thought about having making this like a conference, because we always see tech conferences and all these other different conferences for different things. But I think it would be beneficial if we actually, or if you can create a conference, even for just the schools that you partner with or future partners, hint, hint, just giving you a heads up, with, because it would be helpful not only just to talk to other people, other teachers who's doing the same thing, but also I would like to actually come and visit some of your schools if possible, even if I have to take a day off. So, because I know they be having gardening, there's a huge gardening conference in San Diego that happens, I think, every couple of years, but for us to get out there is hard because of course of the cost of everything, but to have one in our own state or even in our own community area, I think would be beneficial. So if you can make that happen, I will surely be part of it and love to attend every time.
That's great. No, we appreciate it. To that point, yeah, we are doing something similar. It's going to be here at the farm. It's in June. But it's going to be hydroponics in the classroom, but tying in other systems and how you could utilize, if it's a system that you already have, how you still can utilize that system or our product, doesn't matter, and tie it to curriculum, because we're creating a whole bunch of hands-on projects and PBLs associated with hydroponics. So that's coming up in June. So if you signed up for the Eventbrite, look for other events that's on our calendar. You'll see it. And if you are part of our newsletter, you'll definitely get the updated information. I did not, Marasia, I am so sorry, but Marasia Tickles is on with us, guys. Marasia is our farm manager. I appreciate you. The team is building and growing. So thanks to you guys for believing in us and all that we do. It is very intentional. Our program, our Grow EDU program is intentional. And we want it to grow. And that's no pun intended, but it's through this type of engagement. We want to continue to do it and do more of it. So thank you all for joining. Marasia, would you like to say something real quick?
I'm just going to say hello. I was just listening in today, and I like listening to the collaboration. So
Awesome. Any other quick questions before we end it?
Yeah, Greg, I got something.
Yes, sir.
Hey, do you mind creating an email with everybody on the call so we can connect with everybody, because we're all doing the same work, and a lot of us have these produce systems that we're currently using. I think just having a resource that we can tap into when you need some advice, because sometimes we might not be able to get Greg, but I might be available. Miss Katrina may be available. Miss Proctor might be available. I think we all got a different skill set, and I think it'll help all of us grow in this journey together.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
That's going to be part of the email for sure. All right, folks. Well, thanks so much again for joining. Those of you on vacation and winter break, enjoy the rest of your winter break. Thanks to everyone, Miss Lanier, Miss Proctor, Miss Hammonds, Mr. Ellis. Who do I miss? Miss McClendon, for being part of the panel. We will send out another email here shortly, and you guys take care. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. Enjoy your break if you're on break. Everyone else have a great week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ellis,
Same
I'm
to
gonna
you
send you an
guys.
email. Ellis, I'm gonna email you.
Okay, yeah, do that. Make sure you do it. And
Okay.
good to see you again too.
You too, you
Hey, look
too.
at you rocking. Remember when you first came over here, now look at you shining. I love it. Anytime, I got you. Anytime you need me, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate
All right,
it.
yes, ma'am. All right,
Hey.
take care, Greg.
All
Good
right,
to
y'all
see you.
take care. We'll talk
All right.
later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.